A lot of the problems that we see in our world today really come down to the problem of our loves being out of order. Hey, this is Tim Whalen, creator of Purpose Playbooks. I need to make sure that I'm clear about a few things before we get started.
Yeah.
I am a financial planner, but I will never give investment advice or recommend any investment products in this show or in any other public space.
I'm not talking about that.
Everyone has a different financial situation, and you should never implement any investing strategy, product, or advice without consulting a qualified financial professional.
And I hope you guys feel the same doggone way I feel.
This podcast is purely for educational purposes only. There are more disclosures at the end of the podcast.
What else do you want to know?
Enjoy the show. Welcome to Purpose Podcast. Today we're talking about an embarrassment of riches. So, if you think about wealth, really, wealth is somewhat agnostic. You could have wealth in any number of areas. It's really just an abundance or plentiful resources in a specific category. So you could have financial wealth. You could have relational wealth. You could have intellectual wealth. You can have wealth in a lot of different areas and a lot of different categories. But the reality is, in the world that we live in today, we are extremely wealthy when it comes to the span of human history. You think about somebody like George Washington, who was getting carted around from place to place by horse, much like people were in ancient Egypt or Rome. And I mean, think about what it would take to put together an international contract in George Washington's day. I mean, you'd have to, the time and expense that would go into putting all of those pieces together to get a signed contract would just be a lot of time and money expense. But in today's world, theoretically, if everybody's on the same page, you could get onto a video call and you could negotiate a contract internationally, put together documents, have them sent out and signed electronically, and you have a contract by the end of the day. So I like playing with this idea because I really believe that a lot of times our problems don't really come down to a lack of resources. There are certainly examples in our world where that is the case. But when we're thinking about getting clear on our purpose for our money, I think a lot of times the roadblocks in our way are not resource problems. I really like talking with a guy named Jack Hummel. He founded Cedar Classical Academy in the greater Lansing area in Michigan, where I live. And I love when he talks about the concept of the things that we love. So he said that a lot of the problems that we see in our world today really come down to the problem of our loves being out of order, that we love some things way more than we should, and we don't love excellent things as much as we should. And I thought that was really insightful, and I think it plays into this idea of the resources that we have. The one resource that is completely limited, that everybody in human history has had the same amount of, is time, and time in a day, rather. Not everybody's had the same amount of time to live, but the amount of time in a day. And I look out and I see the state of our society and this idea of our disordered loves and the things that we love potentially being things that we love more than we should, and some of these other excellent things that we don't love as much as we ought to. And so that's really at the heart of trying to discover our purpose for money, because if we discover what that purpose is, it's going to inform the way that we live and the way that we spend our time. And I want you to be empowered to spend more time and resources and money on the things and people that you care about the most. And so that's really at the heart of getting clear on purpose. So think about George Washington. Think about how much more you have at your fingertips than he had. And then think about the things that you love, that you're passionate about, and those things that are excellent, that you can be pursuing and spending time on. And have that inform how you live your life. The opinions and views expressed here are for informational purposes only. This material is educational in nature and should not be deemed as a solicitation of any specific product or service. All investments involve risk and a potential loss of principal. We don't provide legal, accounting, or tax advice, but happily coordinate our services and work together with our clients' professional advisors. For specific assistance, the services of an appropriate professional should be sought. Securities offered through the ON Equity Sales Company, member FINRA SIPC, One Way Financial, Cincinnati, Ohio, 45242. Phone number 513-794-6794. Investment advisory services offered through ON Investment Management Company.